Hello, I'm here with an invitation to you. Have you felt stirring or movement in your heart about who God is for you? Or perhaps are wondering about what faith in your life could mean? If so, I encourage you to take the first step. We've assembled several people who have had similar experiences to yours. They found their way to our inquiry process at Bellarmine Chapel on the campus of Xavier University. Inquiry is the first phase of a longer process called the Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults. Listen to them now as they tell their stories.
Growing up, I didn't have much in the way of a faith tradition, but I attended a Catholic high school that really shaped the way that I saw God and shaped the way that I saw Christianity and religion in general.
I grew up in a Protestant church in the South, and my family was very involved in that, and I continued attending the denomination I was in through undergraduate.
I grew up in the Methodist church. We were very involved, went to church every Sunday. I was in youth group, sang in the choir.
One of the first things that I was talking through when we were talking about getting married was I said, don't expect me to, all of a sudden convert to be a Catholic, and I was raised this way and I have this kind of certain understanding of the world.
My adult participation in religious faith was Catholic, but it was always on the outside. There were things about Catholicism that I couldn't quite wrap my mind around.
I remember one time they had an argument at the kitchen table about, I'm Catholic, I'm Methodist, I'm Christian, and we just realized that we needed to be on the same page as a family. We needed to do church together.
And there was an announcement for inquiry at one of the masses, and it just spoke to me and my roommate. She knew that I'd been thinking about it, so she elbowed me and she said, that's for you. That's where you need to be.
I was interested in coming to the inquiry sessions because I was looking for a spiritual home.
Just not knowing what being Catholic meant, what living the Catholic life meant, had a lot of preconceptions and kind of understood ideas without kind of prejudging, right? Not really knowing what that was. And, movies and television aren't really a good source for what's actually going on. So I thought, what better than to get it right from the source.
So we had some friends who suggested that we look at Bellarmine, and we did, and we started coming and really felt like this could be a place where we could belong.
Got a lot of support from Bellarmine. We all do in the RCIA group from the entire parish.
As we called up and talked to Jane about what the process for baptism was and talked through what that was, I was really open with the fact that I really had no idea with what was going on. So I felt it was important for me to know what was going to happen with my child as we were raising her Catholic and what that meant. That led to more questions, and then Jane was just really open and kind and said, well, if you have questions, we're going to meet on Thursday night and we're going to talk through it all, and you can just bring your questions.
What if Catholicism and Methodism disagree? How do I know what's right? And kind of got caught up in the details. And I think I realized eventually that I was missing the big picture.
And so I went in with both feet. And I was very fortunate because the group that I was in was a large, diverse group. There were college students, there were young professionals, and it was nice to be able to hear the concerns that everybody had that were being brought up that I wouldn't even think about that were answered. And it was a very supportive group, it was a very caring group.
So coming to the RCIA sessions, I found to be a really wonderful experience. I really enjoyed the team. I found them to be extremely supportive. They were very open and non-judgmental in any way.
Came through that I would go to church with her parents and had some exposure to what Mass was like, and there were pieces that I was really picking up on and really liking, and the community feel and being together and sort of connecting back through that sense of tradition that lasted a little bit, felt bigger than yourself.
So I'd say the inquiry process for me, attending the sessions and just the learning I did outside of it with my sponsor really taught me more about my faith and, what I was signing myself up for.
In this service, everybody was fully engaged in what was going on.
I really liked also the moments that we would have of kind of prayer and reflection. It was a nice way to just sort of calm down at the end of the day. And it really left me after the sessions with a great sense of peace.
Well, I was drawn to come back to each session because not only the openness of everyone that was here, the willingness for them to answer my questions, even though I'm sure a handful of the questions they've been asked a million times, they always acted like it was the first time they'd been asked that question. You know, they were genuine and open. I never felt rushed. It was really incredible to hear everybody's stories, from people who had, grown up in the Catholic tradition to those that maybe had, converted later in life.
Everyone there was on the same path as me, and I appreciated hearing what they were going through and what they were thinking and what they had to add to their journey, and I learned from that. And going beyond, baptism and after that happened, I did feel changed as a person. It was an incredible experience for me, and it's taught me to be more grateful. It's taught me to be more reflective. It's made me more aware of the needs of others.
I feel like I have a much better relationship with God, and I've also found my spiritual home. I really have enjoyed being at Bellarmine and interacting with other members of the community, and it's been really, really wonderful.
This was a big deal. This was a community saying, please come, and we're happy you're here, and we're happy you're part of us.
I eventually came up with a faith for me that was stronger, that was greater, and that was mine. And it was, for me, something that was greater than the sum of the parts that had come into it.
If someone happens to be considering this process, I think it's important to remember, it's not a decision that you make overnight. It's a journey. It's something that you're considering every day, because it is a lifestyle. It's not a one-time thing. It's a choice that you make for your entire life, and it's something that affects everything you do. So there's tons of people at Xavier that can be supportive. There's people in the Bellarmine community who are supportive, and there's always people there that are willing to answer questions or guide you.
So if you feel encouraged to take the next step, please call us. What we offer are not classes, but weekly sessions to explore and reflect on the scriptures together and to pray with one another. The process of inquiry is informal and open-ended, to take as little or as much time as each person needs to sort through what those stirrings or movements might mean for each person. The process of coming into the full communion of the Catholic Church will be different for each person depending on the church or faith experience they bring with them. Our team is eager to receive you and your questions, so please call us.